Alrighty, we have a very, very special live today with my dear friends, Reverend Michael Beckwith and Billy Carson. And we are going to be talking about how to create reality, how to manifest uh, the greatest version of your life. So we are going to be tuning in just a minute. Let them come in here. This. Alrighty. Give me just 1 second here. Let's get them in here. And while everyone's coming in, let's spread some good energy in this chat. What are you grateful for? What's something beautiful that's taken place in your life? Spread some good energy in here. Alrighty. Let's see what we got going on here.
Hey, hey.
Billy, how's it going, my
All
friend?
right. All good, man. Fantastic. Let me just make an slight adjustment here.
Yep, no worries.
All right, good.
Let me get Rev in here.
Okay.
Here we go. All righty.
Hey, man. How you been? Long time no see.
Hey, Rev, how's it going?
Hey,
Yep,
I'm good, man. Hold on 1 second.
This is great. This is great, man.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great birthday party. Thanks for stopping by again, man. It was phenomenal. Thanks. It's great. Always great to have you in town.
I haven't laughed like that in some years, man.
Yeah.
We're having a good time.
Yeah.
So, for everybody tuning in, we're going to be talking about how to manifest reality. We're going to be talking about really what it takes to create your dream life, really, and how to manifest your highest kind of potential. And I think there's a lot of kind of misunderstandings when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to creating your best life.
Yeah.
So, Billy, man, what do you think like the biggest kind of misconception when it comes to manifestation is?
One of the biggest misconceptions is people tend to think that all you have to do is think about the thing you want to manifest, but you don't have to put any action behind it. So they tend to think that, oh, I want this car or this relationship or whatever it is, and I think they can just focus on it, and then somehow magically it's going to just appear. And kind of, there's movies and things like that that have kind of insinuated that, but they don't understand there's a bigger process behind actually manifesting your reality. Now, sometimes you can focus on something, especially when you get really good at understanding how to put out your intention, and things will manifest for you, sometimes almost in real time. But a lot of the times people don't realize that manifestation, there's an actual formula to it, and that formula is conscious thought multiplied by action will give you manifestation that equals manifestation. So that's the actual formula. The action part is the part where people seem to be lacking in a lot of ways, and that's what we're going to teach them in this workshop coming up. How do you apply action to the conscious thought and create your trajectory to send you in the direction of creating the reality that you want?
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah, so many people they just sit back and think it's going to come to them, right? And that's part of it. It is coming to you in a sense because you're able to perceive the how as you change your internal energy. But it's deeper than that. When the opportunity arises, you have to act. And Rev, I'd love your perspective on that. You know, you have a very kind of unique flavor in the realm of manifesting when it comes to really manifesting from your soul. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. First of all, let me just shout out to both of you and Billy. We're good friends with Dr. Be Serious together. And so so when Anton said, hey, you want to do something with Billy Carson?
It's an honor to talk to you and meet you for the first time on here, man. This is great.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And so I stand in agreement with what Billy said, that oftentimes people think it's magical thinking. It's not magical thinking. you know, basically as you begin to move into a manifestation, you get inspired. Inspiration, to be breathed through, inspiration is not coming from your surface mind. It's coming from divine mind. It's coming from the presence, coming from your soul. And when you get inspiration, then you're compelled to move. You're compelled to make changes in your life. You're compelled to take action. You're not just sitting around. And so definitely the action piece is extremely important. The other thing that bogs people down to a degree is because they have what I call immature wanting. They don't really know what they want. They're getting their wants from society or from their parents or from bad religion or something. And so they have these wants, but they're not really having a mature want, which is coming from your soul. And so many people are out here. I mean, there's an old saying that says, if God, something along the effect that if God gave you everything you wanted, you'd be in hell. Because a lot of what people want is just immaturity. They just have an immature wanting, and they think that's going to bring them happiness. So I think that true manifestation has something to do with connection with your soul, connection with real joy, love, happiness, those sacred qualities. And then as you're in tune with those qualities, you know, what manifests, you know, you can begin to see a beautiful relationship or a wonderful home or a successful business, but you want to be inundated with those powerful qualities so that as that which is manifesting comes into visibility, you don't find yourself being unhappy. You got a lot of stuff, but you're unhappy. You know, you have maybe a perfectly healthy body, but you're sad. You know, so we're talking about a holistic manifestation, not just well, I want that car and that's it. You see, it's a little bit more than that.
Deeper than that. And for everybody just tuning in and on here live with us, myself, Billy, Reverend Michael, Ryan Zofe, Dom the Hypnotist, we are hosting an event, virtual event this weekend. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Literally, there's no separation here. And I'd recommend everybody come check it out. The links are in all of our bios. And it's going to really be an event that teaches you kind of deeper into what we're speaking to, but also giving you the application to apply it. Because that's my big thing too. It's like, if you don't really, if the philosophy is great, but if we're not applying it in real time, if we're not shifting our energy in real time, if we're not, you know, getting clear on our vision, or as Rev would say, catching our vision in real time, then what's the point? You know, there's a great quote. It says, if you let your knowledge lead to learning, you'll be a fool. But if you let your knowledge lead to action, you'll become a master. And I just so resonate with that.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It's true. You're speaking to the fact that there are a lot of people that know about something, but they don't know it, you know. And so if you just know about it, you know, then you can become an academician or a theologian or something. But when you begin to know it, then you step into the mystical realm, you step into embodiment. And there are many people these days that can go on the internet and know about something, and they think that they're embodying it. But as Billy's kind of iterating here, you know, you have to actually do something to have a shift in your awareness. So it's not just intellectual knowledge. It's a deep feeling connection. And it changes the trajectory of your life, changes your thought patterns, changes your conversation, changes who you hang out with.
There's a paradigm shift. You create your own paradigm shift by changing the way you think, changing the way you feel, and changing the actions that you take on your own conscious thoughts. I think some people don't realize that every conscious thought has an actual reaction to it or a consequence. It's like, you know, the principle of cause and effect from the Hermetic principles. So, you know, every single decision you make is going to have a consequence, whether it's a good consequence or a bad consequence. There will always be a consequence. And so we have to pre-think the futuristic actions that we're going to take. We have to sit back and we have to visualize all the superpositions of future decisions that we make, the result of those decisions that we make. Like, what's going to happen if I think about doing this way? What happens if I take this action against this particular thing? And then see it through from your mind's eye. And then when you finally come upon the right decision to make for a situation that works out to benefit you in your favor and doesn't hurt anyone, or yourself, of course, then you focus your attention on that particular reality and you collapse it into existence by taking action.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. I like to sometimes say that our conscious thought, and even the thoughts that are unconscious, when we don't have dominion over our attention, those are units of mental energy. It's real energy, you know. And energy has a tendency to replicate itself. Those thoughts have a tendency to replicate themselves, and then they become our perception, and that perception then becomes experience. And so when we're talking about pre-think, I love what you just said about pre-think. Actually pre-think, actually see, you know, where you want to be, the actions you need to take. You know, you're talking about releasing a level of energy that's going to manifest, because everything, man, right now, our conversation, people are listening to it. But right now, the chemistry in their body's changing. Either toxic chemicals are being produced or tonic chemicals are being produced. So manifestation is happening all the time. So as you begin to have a vision of something greater, then those thoughts become chronic. Those higher thoughts become chronic.
Powerful stuff. Wow. Yeah.
Brad, and I'd love to speak on, Brad, you were saying that a lot of people's manifestations come from societal programming. So how can one get in tune with kind of a deeper desire inside of themselves, maybe inside of their soul? How can they move beyond, you know, the mind and the societal conditioning to get to the heart of what they truly want to create and manifest?
First of all, we're becoming aware that we're imprinted in embryo all through life. We have imprints from our parents, from schooling, from society, from the newsreels. You know, we're imprinted all the time. And so society is trying to keep us in status quo. Their whole job, their whole agenda, you know, with the miseducation system is to keep us in a limited paradigm. And so first we have to know that. So that means that sometimes the things that we are desiring is not coming from ourselves. It's coming from the agenda to control us, you see. So once we know that, we begin to understand this, that every question that we ask is answered by the universal law. Many people ask disempowering questions. What's wrong? Who's to blame? Why me? The universe will answer those questions. And it'll take you down a downward spiral of more and more limiting experiences. But if you ask a higher question, what gift am I to give? How am I to contribute to the world? What does my soul want? You see, what good is present right now that I cannot see? Because everybody's perception is clouded. What good is present that I cannot see? You ask these kind of questions, the universal mind, through universal law, will answer those questions. It'll activate your intuition. It'll activate your gut feeling. Things will begin to occur to show you other possibilities and other potential that's always there, but you couldn't see it because you're asking the wrong questions, you see. And so now you're starting to hear more from the depth of your soul rather than from how you have been miseducated by the world. And the other thing, let me just say this, a lot of people have, you know, opinions and thoughts, and we all do. But the vanity of the ego does a big mistake. The vanity of the ego says, those are my thoughts, or those are my opinions. They're not. They're just passing through. You don't know where they came from. So if you let go of my and just say, oh, that thought is passing through, and then you can say, is that, as Billy was reminding us earlier, is that thought going to lead me to a good conversation or a good action? Or is it going to lead me down a spiral of negativity? I don't have to embrace that thought. I can just, it has come to pass. I can let it pass, and I can begin to consciously inject thoughts, affirm the truth of my being, embrace vision and possibility. I can begin to do that consciously. I don't have to wait for anybody's permission to do that. I can do that every single day.
That's powerful, because what you're saying is we are not our thoughts. We are the observer of the thoughts. And it's a real thing. You know, when I do lectures and presentations and workshops, I divide myself. I separate myself from my speaking self. I sit there and I watch myself actually give the lecture or the workshop. I'm observing myself do this speaking, do the talking. But the body is just taking in all the information, it's downloading it, and it's regurgitating it in a way that people can conceive it, understand it, discern it, and hopefully end up using it to make their lives better. And when you understand how to do that, that's when you really become, you know, the real student. The student comes first, and then eventually the student becomes the teacher. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But when the teacher is ready, the master will appear. And it's a lifelong goal and a quest to become the master. And we're always learning and evolving on a consistent basis. But you have to understand, you're all three. You're the student, the teacher, and the master. But you first have to separate yourself from the thoughts. You're not the thought. You're the observer of the thoughts. And when people begin to do that, they're going to begin to really be able to see beyond the veil of what's really going on and take conscious and subconscious actions that are going to lead them to a much better and brighter future.
Absolutely. I mean, if people can catch that you are the observer of the thought, they'll catch that they are pure awareness. They are consciousness itself. And then everything that's passing through, it's the analogy that I use sometimes is you look at the ocean. Ocean's H2O, it's water. But the ocean has fish in it, it has seaweed, it has plankton, it has boats, it has human pollution, it's of all kinds of waste products. But all those things passing through the ocean are not the ocean. You see?
Yeah.
That's just content. So we have things passing through us that are content that's replicating itself as experience. And as you just said, we can kick back with I call it soulful observation, which leads to meditation. And you can see, oh, that's content. That's not who I am. That's content in my oceanic being. And as I start to disassociate with the content and realize I'm pure consciousness, now I'm heading towards freedom. I'm heading towards liberation. Now I can choose. Choice is a function of expanded awareness. Reaction is a function of limited awareness. I'm gonna react to this. But as I realize I'm not the content, now I can choose. I can choose peace right now. I can choose love. I can choose generosity. I can choose compassion because I'm not reacting to the content. And it takes a little bit of work as we're trying to tell people, this is not magical thinking. This is introspection, it's study, it's meditation, it's practice, it's visioning. It's developing a way of living in which you are daily freeing yourself from the misguided thought forms that are passing through.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, right? This journey doesn't end. You just go deeper into it, really.
Yeah.
And for everybody listening,
oh, yeah.
you know, if you want to really go deeper with us and really take some time this weekend to set some time aside to invest in you, to learn this information, to apply this information, to get in a room, a virtual room of some real life masters, as you're seeing here today. And also just being in proximity with people on a similar spiritual journey. You know, I think so many times when you're early in the spiritual journey and you're kind of getting your toes wet, it can feel lonely. You can feel kind of isolated. It can, you know, may have had a dark night of the soul where you just even maybe feel disconnected from your creator. And in these events, I mean, it's such a powerful way to really find destiny, because I think our destiny really kind of unfolds in the decisions we make. And Rev and Billy, I'd love to hear both of your perspectives on the power of investing in you. You know, this is a really, for the lineup of speakers we have, it is dirt cheap. I mean, it's less than $100, but it's still an investment. And maybe it's not an investment of money, but investment of time. You're taking 2 days. So I'd love to hear both of your perspectives on that.
You know, it's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, by the way, because this is really, really important stuff. This is so important. People have no idea how important it is to understand how to invest in their self. Right? So we are investing in everything on the outside. We're investing in clothing. We're investing in cars and houses and tuition for schools and snacks and goodies and food and everything else. We keep sending our money out, and our energy goes out with that money, because money is only energy, right? It's just an energy exchange. And everything's going out, nothing's coming back in. And so we have this world now where you have billions of people with all the energy going out, nothing coming back in. How long can you go before your energy source is deplenished? How long can you go before you're completely empty? And so we have people that are teeter-tottering on the edge of being completely on E. There's nothing left. You have to turn around, take a look back at yourself, take a journey back to inner space, invest into self-help, invest into workshops and podcasts and books and things that are going to start to feed you and turn the energy back on yourself and recharge you. And so when you look at opportunities and things like this workshop, which is extremely inexpensive, and say, well, you know, it's $100 or whatever it is, man, but you got to realize you'll spend $100 on one good dinner, right? You'll spend $100 on one tank of gas. And you know, and there's a lesson that I learned a long time ago with a situation that it was a huge business deal for me. This is about 32 years ago now. I would have been a billionaire already. This was a very big marketing campaign, a marketing deal that someone had referred me to a huge company, which is now a mega billion-dollar corporation. And anyway, so they were bringing my marketing company at the time, my agency, in to do the marketing. I had this meeting set up. And this meeting was set up, and all I had to do was just literally show up, and the deal was done because it was a the friendship handshake that introduced me. I woke up in the morning, and my tire was flat. Because I had exuded all my exterior energy, all my energy from inside to the outside, and everything was all depleted and gone. I said, man, I got no time to deal with a flat tire. Let me just try to reschedule this meeting. And so I called my friend and said, hey, you got to reschedule for me because I got a flat tire. What happened was the deal never got rescheduled. Yeah. When I finally got a hold of him again, he said, Billy, why didn't you get the tire fixed? So, well, it was a flat tire. It's early in the morning. I didn't want to get dirty. This is way back when AAA was barely getting started back then, right? And there was no like roadside assistance for your Mercedes or your Lexus or whatever. It didn't exist. You had to get out there and get dirty. And he said, let me ask you a question. If your boss called you, if you had a regular job, hypothetically, and your boss called you and said, if you don't show up to work today, you and your family will be on the street tomorrow. And you woke up and had 4 flat tires, but there was no ultimatum. There was nowhere else to go. Would you get those tires fixed? I said, you damn right I'd get those tires fixed. He said, you see, you didn't make it a priority to take care of yourself and your family. This was one of the largest opportunities you would ever have seen in your life, and you blew it simply because you didn't have the energy to take care of it. And so what I'm saying is to let people know, you have to learn lessons in life. Now, I took it as an L, but not as a loss, as an L for lesson, and I learned from that. And I realized, wow, you have to understand opportunities like this workshop that are coming up, they come by every now and then, but the group of speakers that we have in here are, in my opinion, super elite people that understand the content and that can literally help you make a paradigm shift in your life, not just for you, but for future generations. This information is transferable because knowledge transfers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So consciousness becomes a conscious virus. You transfer it from yourself to your kids and friends and family and loved ones, and they continue to pass on and on and on and on. So it's not a one-time investment, it's a legacy investment. And so you have to understand that you have to begin to realize you got to invest in yourself. You can't be at the point where you're depleted from energy and you just give up on opportunities. You have to put the energy back in. So take advantage of this opportunity.
And we're getting a lot of people asking, how do we sign up? When's the event? So the event is this Saturday and Sunday. And the way you sign up is just by going to any of our bios, Vibe Source, Billy, myself, Reverend Michael, and all you got to do is sign up. And I will say there is only spots for 500 people. And last I checked before this call, we were at like 250 signed up. So I don't know how many people are signing up right now, but I'm sure there's a ton. So, you know, this is exclusive in a sense where there is only room for 500. And like Billy said, you know, your decision is shaped or your destiny is shaped in your decisions. And I think one of the most important things we have to learn is how to unlearn. Because like Rev was saying earlier, you know, we have been suggested by the society really into a hypnosis where we think we're making decisions, but we're not. And when you learn the power of the subconscious mind and you learn the power of suggestion, which is something I'm going to be speaking to, it is mind-blowing. You think you have free will? Oh man, you got to reprogram what's going on because you are being tricked into an illusion. So you got to really de-hypnotize yourself. And Rev, I'd love to hear your perspective on investing in yourself and how you've seen that play out in your life.
It's just necessary. First of all, when I received the information from you, Anton, about this workshop, and I saw that Billy Carson was a part of it, I didn't need to see anything else because his reputation precedes him. You see, I already knew who he was through Dr. Be Serious and other people. I said, oh, Billy, so I already knew who he was and what he stood for and the integrity of his being and the work that he's doing and the deep research that he's done on so many levels, financially, Emerald tablets. There's so much that he's done. So I already had a built-in respect for him. So as soon as you said, my schedule is packed, and so my no is very strong in terms of what I do. I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, because my yes is good for other things. But when I heard his name, I said, oh yeah, Billy, oh yeah, it's time for us to meet. It's time for us to come together. So I curate a lot of people. I can go to any concert, excuse me, I can go to a concert too, but I can go to any lecture and I can listen to people talk and I can tell you in 3 minutes whether that person knows it or just knows about it. I can feel it. And they may be given some good information, but it doesn't mean it's been integrated on any level. It's nothing wrong with it, So Billy's one of those people that has done a lot of deep work on himself. He's had a lot of different inner spiritual experiences. And so when I heard him speak, I said, oh yeah, he knows. He's on the cutting edge of his own growth. And so in terms of investing in oneself, I think what you've done, Anton, is curated some individuals that don't just know about metaphysics. They don't just know about the law. They actually are practicing it. They actually are using it in their own lives, and their lives are a testimony and a successful testimony to deep practice. So many people are living their lives for other people. They're living their lives for their parents. They're living their lives. They have a lot of voices in their head, and they're overly concerned about what other people are thinking about them. And when you invest in yourself, the only thing you're concerned about is what is God thinking about you? Not a man in the sky, but a presence that's not an absent spirit. What does your soul want from you? What does the depth of your being want to express before you leave this planet? So you're not living your life in vain and you're not wasting an incarnation, you see? And so you're investing in yourself. Another way to look at it is we're inviting people to grow in a deep sense of self-love and appreciation, not egotism, not I'm better than everybody, but what the Creator has created is magnificent in us. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's infinite potential. And when we fall in love with that, some of the obstacles that we come up against begin to disappear, because a lot of those obstacles are just a projection of a lack of self-love and appreciation, a lack of self-worth, a lack of self-spiritual esteem. It gets projected onto the screen of life, and we bump up into it. And we think, oh, the world is hard. We think people are working against us, but it's ourselves. It's unresolved issues. So if we invest in ourselves, then we begin to wake up to the deep sense of self-love and appreciation that is timeless. It didn't just happen because you took this incarnation. Before time began, time doesn't exist anyway, but before time it began, we're a perfect spiritual idea of a cosmic unfolding. We begin to fall in love with this, and then obstacles disappear, ways out of no ways begin to open up. But as you're saying, Anton, it takes an investment of time and sincere interest in yourself. You have to be interested in this, not just, oh, it's a passing fancy. Because, I ask people, do you meditate? Yeah, I do. You have a nice way of praying? Yeah, I do. You vision sometimes? Yeah, I do. I said, well, how often? They said, well, every now and then. That's a dabbler.
Don't want that.
You know what I mean? That's a dabbler. If you become sincerely interested and develop a practice, your life will change. And that's an investment of your time in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, the investment of your time. And so this workshop, as you say, it's very inexpensive. We're inviting people to invest just a little bit of time, open up your ears that you can hear, and then whatever little practices we give you, you actually take it on, try it. experiment with your own life. Let your life be an experiment. I'm going to experiment for 21 days. I'm going to experiment for 30 days. I'm going to experiment for 40 days and prove it. This, you know, when I started Agape over 36 years ago, I brought together a group of people in my living room. And I said, you know what? We're not going to put a business plan on how to start a spiritual community. We're going to go into consciousness. And we're going to prove either this works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, we can go be plumbers, electricians. We can do things we know work, you know. But we can go into consciousness and actually embody unconditional love and peace and generosity and develop a community around that and harmonizing prosperity. And that's what we did. You see, we actually went in, we met every Thursday for months until we felt the energy. And then we had our first public service and we've never looked back, you see. So, but we made a deep investment in our time and in ourselves every week, not to mention what we were doing on a daily basis. So we're inviting all of you who are tuning in and listening to us this afternoon or this morning or this evening, whatever time zone you're in. We're here in the eternal now, and this technology has dwarfed time and space. We're all here in present moment. Invest in yourself. Show up, bring your friends, have a watch party. You're going to appreciate that you made that choice.
Man, Rev and Billy both speaking some serious truths. And you know, I think a couple things I want to hit on is that for anybody on the fence, I personally will refund your money if by the end of Saturday you don't feel like you have had a breakthrough. And I'll let you define what that means for you. But I'm so confident that myself and everybody here, Billy, Rev, Dom, Ryan, and others, are going to be able to deliver not just knowledge, but experience. Because if you can take a philosophy and experience it in a shift in energy in yourself, man, you are on your way to true change. Because this is beyond mind. You know, like Rev said, there's people who know, and there's people who really know. They may even be able to pass a test on this information, but that doesn't mean they know it. That just means they can regurgitate it. They know it based off their results. And the combined net worth of these speakers, I don't know it exactly, but it's north of $200 million, and that is no BS.
Yeah.
And these are people who have taken this information and applied it and gotten real results. And, you know, not just about finances, but that's a big piece, you know. I think, you know, God is abundant, and when we get in that energy and we're really in harmony with the universe, finances and opportunities do flow to us. So you got to invest in yourself, and you got to make this happen, because this is going to be a incredible 2 days. And I am very, very grateful and excited both for all of you, but also for Rev and Billy for being so generous to want to serve and give back to these communities, because it's going to be a very diverse group. I mean, we got people tuning in from all across the world. So very, very excited. And for those of you wondering how to sign up, all you got to do is click the link in any of our bios. And by the way, you know, we have a lot of different pages here. Make sure you're following everybody in this room. You know, it's so important, speaking to Rev's point about how society programs us. Social media is one of those ways we're programmed. And if you're constantly being bombarded with, you know, negativity in your social media feed, that's seeping into your subconscious. That's going right. You're on autopilot and it's going right in. And you got to do the reverse and have it go right in with good information, with stuff that's actually going to be beneficial and add to your experience and not take away from it. So, Rev, Billy, thank you so much for tuning in with this. This was awesome. Is there anything else either of you would like to share?
I just want to say, hey, go ahead.
You talked about finances. I know that Billy, I know that you talked about prosperity and finances, and I know Billy is a great master in that area. But, you know, I like to say, you know, it's different even before you got here, and that you're opening yourself up to catch catch your genius, to catch your gift, so that your gift will take care of you, you know. Because if you don't share the gift or discover what it is, it'll work against you. It'll be a blockage and a hindrance. So whether it's physical, mental, emotional, psychological health, financial health, relationships, friendships, business. You know, all of this is in consciousness. This is all consciousness. It's not material. It shows up in the material world, but it's all consciousness, you see. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that too. That's amazing, because people get caught up with the aspect of things being materialistic. But we have to understand that in this corporeal body, in this third density or this third dimension, we are actually inhabiting a dimension known as material. It's a material dimension. We have a physical body, or the illusion of physicality at least. Right. And so we're in this physical matrix at this particular moment. And so we have to learn how to navigate through this physical matrix. You know, you can't be in the physical matrix and think you can't engage with the materialistic things that are here. It's not that you are longing or loathing after things. It's that you're understanding that your abundance is guaranteed. And in my opinion, the ultimate goal of this incarnation, at least for me, I believe my job is to bring heaven to earth.
Yes.
You know, I think a lot of people are waiting to die so that they can live.
No.
And I'm choosing to live now.
Right. No, that's it.
Yeah.
We're right on the same wavelength, because I say we're here to bring heaven to earth until earth becomes heaven, you see.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're right on it.
This was such a great conversation. Everybody listening in from across the world, let's give Reverend Michael and Billy Carson some love, and thanks for taking their precious time. Like these two are very, very busy. They got a lot of things going on in this world, and yet they're coming on here to provide value to all of you, to give you wisdom that can and will change your life if you apply it. And then, of course, we're all welcoming all of you to the event this weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday. If you can't make the whole thing, you can get a VIP option, which gives you the replay for life. So you get to keep that. And one thing you'll learn about is how repetition is super powerful. And then for the VIPs as well, we're going to be doing an exclusive Q&A. So it's kind of a unique opportunity in many different fronts. And I just want to encourage you, if you're on the edge, that's just fear. It's false evidence appearing real. And I think our paradigm always tries to hold us back from that next level. And sometimes taking a new action, like investing in yourself, can feel uncomfortable because it's right outside kind of your normal paradigm. So many people, they've never invested in themselves, so they don't really know what that feels like. So you got to go beyond that conditioning so you can experience more of who you truly are.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Just give up your lattes for the week.
There you go.
Drink some water.
Beautiful.
Facts.
Well, thank you both so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you.
And hopefully we will see you Saturday.
Thank you, Anton.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Ray. I've been amazing meeting you. I'm definitely looking forward to having a private conversation with you as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm going to have your number before the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. For sure.
Awesome.
Right.
Thanks a lot, guys.
God bless you both. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Be great, everybody.
Be great.